All right, we're returning to these final pictures. These pictures coming from the village of Mohammad Ashraf Mir, who was killed in the terror attack on Sanjuwan army camp. This took place on Saturday morning in the early hours. You had terrorists, all of them of Pakistani origin, who attacked the official residence of the junior commissioned officers. Those quarters were attacked, and these brave men were killed in anti-terror operations. We're looking at the final journey of JCO Mohammad Ashraf Mir, Havaldar Habibullah Qureshi, Naik Mohammad Shafi and Lance Naik Manzoor Ahmad Dar. They are from Kupwara, and anger in that village. You can see that on your screens. We heard an angry father a short while back. He could barely control his emotions. But definitely a very, very tragic time. This was an attack that was carried out by the Jaish-e-Mohammed, according to the Indian government. And evidence has also been recovered, which points towards a Pakistani hand once again. And that's not all. We saw an attack on an army camp also in Domana area of Jammu that took place some hours back. And we also had an attack on a CRPF camp in Karan Nagar area of Srinagar that began yesterday morning. And this is Ashraf Mir's final journey, JCO Ashraf Mir's final journey. You've got top officers of the army, you've got top officers of the CRPF and other paramilitary forces bidding final goodbye to all our brave men. So you've got about 5 soldiers who were martyred in Sanjuwan army camp in Jammu. You also have 1 CRPF personnel who was martyred in Srinagar in the attack on a CRPF camp in Karanagar. That attack got over a short while back, but it shows that the terrorists are getting desperate. They had a point to prove, and all this taking place in the backdrop of Afzal Guru's death anniversary. There were inputs that terrorists are likely to attack security installations in Jammu and Kashmir, and that's what has happened. We've seen at least 3 attacks in the last 3 to 4 days, and security forces are now in a state of heightened alert. Be it the BSF, be it the CRPF, be it the army, they're on alert and they are preparing to hit back. But India is not going to give any sign of how that response is going to be. Our sources in the government remain quiet, remain tight-lipped about their future strategy, whether it's a diplomatic strategy or a military one. It seems that India is not going to be spelling out its options just the way Pakistan keeps doing. You had the Pakistani defense minister saying that any misadventure by Pakistan will be tackled appropriately and India would be punished. So look at the kind of rhetoric, look at the kind of warmongering that Pakistan is doing, and this is not new as far as Indo-Pak relations are concerned. Every time India has extended a hand of friendship, we've got terror attacks in return. So that is why we keep asking, why is the PDP, why is the National Conference asking for talks with Pakistan? Why is Mehbooba Mufti asking for talks? Why is she going ahead and filing an FIR against Major Aditya, who was not even there when the stone pelting was taking place? In fact, his unit was forced to fire in self-defense when their lives were threatened, when stone pelters were attacking their vehicles. Why isn't the BJP able to put pressure on the PDP? This is also a big question for the central government. Let's go across to Snesh Alex Phillip for the very latest. Snesh, we're looking at these pictures coming from the village of Mohammad Ashraf Mir. Could you tell us a bit about him?
Well, Mohammad Ashraf belonged to the Jackline battalion of the Indian Army. Now, remember that he, along with 5 other Indian soldiers, were killed in this dastardly attack by Pakistan-backed Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists who stormed into the Sanjuwan army camp in Jammu and Kashmir, in the Jammu region. Now, remember that these terrorists claim to fight a war on behalf of the Kashmiris. But remember that out of the 6, 4 of them, the Kashmiri soldiers, soldiers from Kashmir who have given the supreme sacrifice to ensure that the people of Kashmir and the people of India remain safe. So a big question arises, who are these people fighting for? Because, remember that they are nothing but mercenaries, they are terrorists, they are an extension of the Pakistani establishment. They are not non-state actors, they are state actors of Pakistan. So for them to say that they are fighting for the Kashmiri brothers is absolutely a lie. Because at the end of the day, you have J&K police who are giving supreme sacrifice. You have people from Kashmir who are joining the Indian Army and paramilitary forces in large numbers. They are fighting the battle. You remember in the last 1 year itself, there have been so many instances in which Kashmiri...
All right, Snesh, I'll request you to hold on for a second. We've got General Raj Qadian joining us on the phone line. General Qadian, as you see these pictures of JCO Ashraf Mir, Havaldar Habibullah Qureshi, Nayak Muhammad Shafi, Lance Nayak Manzoor Ahmad, and also Iqbal Ahmad, who was from South Kashmir's Tral. What are the thoughts that come to your mind? We can see a grieving family, a grieving father who can hardly control his emotions. He is being given some support. He's being given assurances by the Indian Army right now. They're helping him in this hour of grief. Your thoughts on these pictures, sir?
Yeah, unfortunately, I am traveling and I am not watching the visuals, but I can well picture because I have seen so many others. The funerals of martyrs has become a routine affair in India, and all because of the Pakistan's activities. They're sponsoring terror attacks on Indian soil and they're firing repeatedly on the line of control. Well, these are Indian soldiers. The fact that they happen to be Kashmiris was incidental. Indian soldier is an Indian. In fact, earlier also in the day, Mr. Westy made some very damaging remarks by saying that they were all Kashmiris. The units are in rotation. It just so happened that the unit that was located at this time at that place happened to be a J&K light infantry, which is an old J&K militia, and the militias all have local people. It could have been Biharis, it could have been Tamil Nadu. Soldiers are Indian, they are not Hindus or Muslims. But coming back to this is a very sad ritual. We do hope yesterday's statement by the defense minister, where she said Pakistan will be made to pay a price for it.
All right.
She emphatically repeated the comments. I do hope we walk the talk and really expect a price from Pakistan for this kind of...
Absolutely. We hope so too, sir. Lieutenant General Qadian, I'll have to leave it there, unfortunately. We'd like to thank you for joining us with your perspective on this very sad story. It breaks the heart to see these grieving families who are all in tears right now while receiving the body of Mohammad Ashraf Mir. Our thoughts and prayers with the family of our brave soldiers and CRPF personnel who died in these terror attacks.